What's up, everybody? This is Tyler Burns, host of the Antidote television show, where Christ is the cure for culture and conversations create fertile ground for change. Really excited to be here at Flavor Fest 2012 Crossover Church in Tampa, Florida. And right before this interview came on, you probably heard a beat, you probably vibing to it. And so we want to introduce you guys to the mastermind behind the tracks, the man who has been one part or 1/3 of the Watchmen. He's the A&R at Collision Records. He's behind some of your top hits from Lecrae and all these other guys that you know. The man is Wit. Wit, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us, man. Taking a couple minutes here. So I wanted to ask you, man. This is Flavor Fest, and about a year ago, something big happened. Right? You proposed to yes, huge. You proposed to your girlfriend. She accepted. Now you're married.
Yeah.
In that year, what have you learned about yourself and what have you learned about God?
Man, yeah, I proposed last year at Flavor Fest. Some of you guys might have seen it on YouTube, and crazy experience, one of the most nerve-wracking experiences of my life.
Imagine.
Just crazy, but amazing. I still get the chills just showing up here today. Just reminded me of a year ago. But yeah, it was crazy, man. But in the last year, I've learned a lot about myself, and a lot of men will tell you this, like being in a relationship, especially when you're both trying to honor God and you're both trying to live that walk. It's a humbling experience, man. It's one of the, it shows you the really ugly side within you, the anger, the pride, the just all of the dirt that is within you comes out, and God uses that other person to kind of show you that, and it's like a mirror, and you look at yourself and you're like, man, I really have, you know, the problems that you can dust off when you can push them to the side when you're single. You don't really have to come face to face with that, but that ugly man within you really comes out. And it's been a very humbling process, but it's the most amazing thing I've ever been through. You know, it's drawn us closer, you know, becoming more pure within, you know, between each other and before God. It just really draws us so much closer. So, like, you know, in the last year, as we were through the engaging process and a couple months of being married, it's just like, it's a purification process, man. Marriage is, and only being 2 months in, I'm learning a lot, you know, so
already. So you're talking a little bit about the sanctification process of being in a relationship that honors God, where both of you guys are seeking the Lord, and it seems like what you're not saying is that it's just this particular relationship, but that God-fearing, God-honoring marriage relationships are meant to be sanctified, are meant to show, like, because a lot of young people, they'll believe, oh, I see this girl and I like her and we have stuff in common and we just get married, we get together. Talk a little bit about why is marriage meant to be like this sanctifying process?
Man, it's, well, first of all, you know, in our culture, love is totally misconstrued and totally put in the wrong light, and growing up watching Disney movies, watching, you know, television shows and stuff, our whole perception of love is all screwed up. And even as a young man, even as a man, before I was engaged, I truly didn't understand what love was until I really started to experience it. And we're taught that it's an emotional process. We're taught that, you know, it's a butterfly feeling and stuff like that. But biblically, that's not what love is. Love is hard. It's a decision and it's a sacrifice, and you know, learning that will sanctify you, because that is what God intended for marriage to be. It is love, is sacrifice. The days where you might be attracted to that person or not attracted to that person, things that person might do that might tick you off, you know, those things, you love that person throughout that. Now, you know, our selfish desires want that person to constantly serve us, constantly, and we were talking before, man, like the answer to 99.9% of the problems between couples, that would solve most of the arguments, that would solve most of the issues between them, the answer to that is usually humility, or the lack thereof. Is that answer problem.
Sucks to our ears, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just terrible. We're like, no, but you know, that's
because you want to hold so tight to what you know, and to this is the way that I always thought it was, and I'm not gonna let that go. But you know, especially as men, we're the ones that, whether you're right or wrong, we need to make it right, and we're responsible to God for our wives as well. So you might be totally right in the process, but your job isn't to be right. Your job is to make things right between you and her and before God. Because if you're not hearing your wife, God is not hearing your prayers. So that is
some bombs, man, to the gut. That's body punches.
Yeah,
that's
man. I mean, that's what I've been going through, man. Like it's a sanctification process, man. Through that, and really guts you, and going back to it shows you the sinful nature and our depraved state, man. Like it's crazy, but yeah, man. But it's a beautiful thing going through that with somebody, and it draws you closer as you get closer to God, and you flesh out those things, and you start to work on those bad habits, and you work on those things. It draws you closer to God individually and corporately.
Man, thank you so much for just giving us that advice. Those are so many nuggets that we can pull from that, man. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so if you don't know him, you probably think he was a pastor or a relationship counselor after what you just heard. But this dude is one of the top producers. No, not gassing you up or anything. One of the top producers. That's why we went to him for the Antidote. So talk a little bit about how that production and that whole mindset of producing music arose for you.
Man, well, I started off as an artist. I started off just making beats when I was young, like 13, 14 years old. Progress was an artist, was in a group called Frontliners, and I was doing that for a while and stuff. But production music has always been a part of my life. I've always played drums. I played drums since I was like 11 years old. So that was one thing. Music was ingrained within me. And then, you know, after being in a group, doing that, traveling, engineering and stuff like that, my heart was in that and really constructing it. And so, you know, things took off with that, you know, doing one thing. And there was always people. Like I don't take credit for where I am, for whatever God has given me. I just look at it as something that God has allowed. He's trusted me with, and I need to be a good steward of it. But He's given it to me, and He gave me people before me that actually trained me up, and there was men before me that I learned from. There's not doing things from. So, you know, then opportunities arose. You know, there was Hell's Paradise. Then there was working with Dre Murray and working with Lecrae.
What's that like, man? Like, it's a lot of guys are like, oh, if I could only work with Lecrae, and you produce some big hits from him. Like, what has that been like in terms of your heart? What has that done to you? Has that been a tightrope walk for you?
Bro, none of that stuff was, we're not going to accomplish, producers, nothing you're going to accomplish through thirst or just, you could always look at, if I had that position, if I was where Whit is, I would have done things this way, and we would have been the biggest hit ever. You know, it's easy to look from that perspective and see it, but I never even pursued that. Like, I never looked at things like, yo, I can't wait to produce a song for Lecrae. All this stuff, everything that I've done that people have heard and known me for has come organically. And it's come from me just keeping my head down and working. Work hard, perfect your craft, don't sit around and talk about it, don't complain, don't do anything, because this working hard is what's going to get you there, man. Like talent is one thing, that's something that some people have, but it's a little overrated, man. Like there's a lot of people that are talented, and their talent is the reason they're lazy.
Yeah,
they're so talented.
So true.
So I might not be the most talented producer, but it's having a work ethic. It's being disciplined. Discipline is the hardest thing, and a lot of guys don't want to actually put in that work. They just want the results. They just want to have a #1 album out. They just want to do big singles. They just want the recognition, but they don't want to do those long hours, those late nights that lead up to
that you have to pay.
There is a price. That stuff didn't happen for me overnight. I was producing. I was doing this stuff for years before people even knew who I was, and it's just a lot of work, man. Like, it's work, but it's what I love. But there are times where you have to do it whether you like it or not.
Right.
And Michael Jordan didn't get to where he was because of just talent. He was in the gym, working hard, even when nobody else was there, and that's what's going to get you where you want to be. And then if God sees you taking your talent seriously and sees you really putting your time in and doing that, then God is going to bless you with opportunities. He's going to give you a little at a time, see what you do with it. And then you're faithful with that, He's going to give you more. And it's up to Him. It's only by His grace. He didn't owe me that. Even if I worked hard, He didn't have to give me any of these opportunities. So realizing that gives me a peace that I'm not in control at all. All I can do is serve God to the best I can with what He's given me, and let the chips fall where they may. Whether I'm honored, whether I'm put on a pedestal or whatever, that don't matter. I don't own this anyway. I don't deserve it anyway. So you know, it's all about God's grace, and whatever comes it's just a gift from Him.
That's really dope. Like, I mean, you've recently been, you know, given the award of Producer of the Year, Kingdom Choice Awards. Congratulations, by the way. I mean, you're 1/3 of the Watchmen with JR and Alex Medina. You're A&R of Collision Records with Swoop and Kristen Gray and Alex Faith. So you're working with some of the top artists and producers in the game right now, and plus your wife sings. And your wife has a singing career. What's next, man? Where are you gonna go? You have so many different doors. You got the Dre Murray thing I didn't even talk about. Like, you got so many different things on your plate. Like, where are you gonna go next?
Man, honestly, there's not like one mega plan. There's not like a board of things I need to do in the next year. It kind of just happens. Like, yeah, you be prepared. You have to be organized, but things happen. I mean, obviously the Watchmen. You know, I'm honored to be in a group with guys like JR and Alex Medina. Phenomenal talents. Love working with them. And you know, we're gonna obviously continue working together, flying out to a central location, producing music, man, like every couple months, and working with some artists. And God's opening a lot of doors for us that I can't really talk about, but He's opening a lot of doors for us to be able to do that in the next year and stuff. So you'll be hearing more stuff from us. Obviously, Collision, you know, phenomenal talent over there that I'm just blessed to be a part of, man. Like, those guys challenge me to make me better, and the staff behind the scenes, like ET and Mike, and you know, we have a very strong foundation, a strong team, and it's built on not on talent, it's built on integrity and focusing on you know, just doing things in excellence, and that's one thing I love about them. You know, it's good art, but it's better people behind the scenes and that are focused on, you know, just being good stewards of what God has given us. So, you know, we're working on stuff. There's a project in the works under Collision. There's stuff with the Watchmen that are doing, and there's a whole lot of stuff that I'm really not at the liberty to talk about.
Exactly. No, I totally understand.
But there are things in the works. There's a lot of stuff keeping us all busy. But
we just gonna keep watching you. Now, where can we watch you at? No pun intended. Where can we watch you at? Like Twitter, Facebook?
Yeah, IQ Music, IQWIT Music. That's on Twitter. You can just Google it, and I'll give you my website and all that stuff. So, you know, pretty easy to find. So yeah, man. So that's where you guys can find me.
Man, I can just personally vouch for it. In fact, since I've worked with you, and this is like, honestly, it's kind of rare to see someone from afar and be like, yo, it'd be dope to work with them one day, and then get that opportunity, and then not have your expectations lowered. You know what I'm saying? Like you met our expectations, because I remember in terms of work ethic, like you texted me super late one night. You were like, yo, what do you want to do with this beat, right? And then I was like, dude, it's like late. He's like, nah, man, I gotta get it done. I gotta get it done. I gotta get it done. So we're thankful for that, man. And we're thankful you're an encouragement to a lot of young adults, especially young men out there, man. So praise God for you. We're gonna support you. Like, what's a project that they should go get? Like if they want to see some your production showcase, or you can name a few. I mean,
check out Hell's Paradise, The Mass Parade. You could just Google that. Hell's Paradise 2, The Mass Parade. That's the latest one that Dre Murray and I did. I produced everything on there. Obviously, I did a lot of work, A&R work and production on body art by Kristen Gray. So you can go to collisionrecords.com, collision/records.com. You can get that Honest to God by Alex Faye. And so those are 3 projects people can go check out, and they're all free. So awesome. Help yourself.
Go get it. I'm telling you, go get it. You're gonna be blessed by it.
And go buy Gravity too.
Yes, Gravity by Lecrae, of course. You already
don't have it.
So thanks once again for this, man. This has really been an awesome time, man. I know you're busy skating around all throughout.
Always got time for you guys, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks, man. Well, as we always say, I'm Tyler Burns. You've just been handed the antidote, but it's up to you what you do with it. Peace. As long as it's not like McDonald's or the parking lot or something, you know, who cares, man? You know?
Went over well. Yeah. She said yes, thank God.
that's the most important thing. That's the bottom line, you know? Yeah. A couple of questions, probably 3 or 4.
Do you know the questions offhand? Or?
Yeah, like I'm gonna ask